Hey, what's going on? Nando here, and today we're going to be doing a bit of a intro video to a new Fallout series I'm doing, because why the hell not? I'm currently running a ton of mods, and as you can see, these raiders are going down really fast. So I'm currently kind of experimenting with Agony, as well as another mod called my locational damage tweaks. I haven't used it in a while, but I thought it would be a little bit better than better locational damage, because it did a whole weapon overhaul thing that kind of conflicted with a bunch of stuff. But here I think I'm all set, and then I get completely destroyed by a raider in 3 seconds, which to me proved that this video was going to be worth doing the second I did it, and I stopped experimenting with mods and I just said, we're going to do the playthrough. Here we go. This is what we got. So this next sequence is just skipping to the inside, because it's just going to be the same thing over again, except I don't get decked in the face the second time. So here I was a little concerned because I hit them both for damage, and nothing happened until I managed to get a headshot on that other guy, which led me to believe that the headshot multiplier put on by my locational damage tweaks, well, all of the critical shot multipliers, were actually worth a damn. So, kind of fits with the normal damage model, and it makes all of the things that I've done in terms of trying to tweak the game balancing a little bit more worth it, just to make it great from a roleplay perspective. But we're here. I tried to pie corner, didn't do it very well, as you guys can see, and she freaks me out, so I panic shoot, and I managed to get her straight in the face. That sweet old orgasm face. But we're going to essentially go through the entire building, just looting people, taking their weapon, trying to get as much 38 ammo as possible. We're just gonna skip over this part because it's just me collecting stuff, and that gets pretty old pretty fast. Here in this next section, I can hear 2 raiders in here, but I get the bad look of the draw and they're very close. So I'm thinking, well, only option I'm gonna give myself is to try and shoot them both, but he ducks behind a pole before I can hit him. So I go for the explosive instead and try and knock him out, and he gets up and throws a Molotov, so I know he's up, and I just immediately demolish his face with automatic pipe rifle, and he has no answer to that, of course. This next section is a little bit more cloak and dagger style, and it's more along the lines of how we're probably going to be playing this game along. So here I can hear a switchblade flick open, and they're gonna be yelling at the settlers inside. I hear exactly where they are because I put in a directional hearing mod, and I decided to sneak around. So I walked over. When I was far enough, I ran over, and then as I crest this door, I just take them both out. Headshot, 2 bursts, still have half of the magazine in the gun, and I managed to keep myself from getting destroyed yet again by another decked out submachine gun. It's the vintage submachine gun is one of those mods where it's like, it's awesome to have, especially because when you get to higher levels it's not useless, but it will destroy you. So we're going to skip the whole conversation bit because I'm pretty sure everyone's heard it. I mean, it was from what I remember, it was in the E3 press conference. This whole section was in like the E3 press conference when it came out. So we're going to skip all of the boring bits and just try and get to the fun bits. Here I'm just trying to grab some food because I realized that I was hungry with the stats menu and everything. I was thirsty as well. The conundrum is I ended up eating more than I was used to eating, because I'm usually used to eating 2 or 3 items and it would do it, and for some reason I had to eat 4 and I couldn't figure out why. So we're gonna hop straight into this power armor with our military fatigues and our olive drab gloves, just for reference sake, you know. And we're gonna rip this minigun and clean off of this thing. I wish they had an animation for that, but they really don't, and it makes me very, very, very sad. So here we're just going to be doing what we did with the rest of the raiders and try and hit this guy in the face. However, this is a little more awkward without gunner sights. It's not impossible. It's not extensively difficult. It's just awkward. So this person comes up, steps up to me, gets destroyed in the mouth. And we jump down and we try and tag these two. So I try and tag Gristle, can't get it done. Try and tag the Raider, can't get it done. And I somehow, one of the shots deviates far enough that I just pop him right in the mouth and he goes down. So since I'm a panic reloader, we reload again, and then I just try my hand at long range shooting with a minigun, which if you ever tried it in this game doesn't always work. Because I miss, and that one I missed as well. It's just the spread was wide enough that he got hit in the face. And I take those 3 guys out, and I reload looking for kind of more weapons to loot. We're kind of just going off of looting other people as well as saves. These guys show up. I hit him in the head. I hit this guy in the head as well. That car is going to explode just about now. And while I'm looting these bodies, because I was pretty sure I saw some cool stuff, and I do see even a submachine gun, Deathclaw comes out. So I'm like, oh, well, let's see if I can hit him in the stomach. I tried to hit him in the stomach, and I aggroed him. So he's got his head facing toward me, so I can't hit him, which isn't the best position to be in. So I reload, and since I know it's going to take him a while to actually try and do the grab animation, I just walk straight inside. And since I went upstairs in this building earlier when I was in Concord, I grabbed some Psycho, and I stabbed myself with that shit. So here we wait for the Raider to get the aggro, and then we just unload on him. I think we still have around 500 rounds left, in which we destroy that Raider, and we destroy this Raider, and Preston throws a Molotov at us. So that is pretty much it from what I saw. I'm just gonna try and loot these bodies and see what I can find, because I'm pretty much like, hey guys, this quest is over, right? Right? Well, no, because I'm walking around and wondering why the end hasn't triggered yet, and I realize there's a Raider hiding in a building somewhere. So I go to shoot at him, and then Preston burns him to death. Such a sad sight to see. Preston stealing my kills, burning people to death. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? But this next coming up section is probably one of the more important sections that I feel. Mainly because it ties into a quest that I'll talk about later. But this is just a supply run. There are a few mole rats that come in. If you're crouched, they kind of just come to you as we take a level up here. I think there's max 4 of them. There might be 5, so a range of about 4 to 5. And this is essentially food stock that we can then take on our travels to do other things like pretty much eat food. It's going to be a main source of health, because I'm going to stay away from stim packs, because if you try and drop a bunch of drugs on yourself, you get so dehydrated that you run through a water store really quickly. You run through at least 6 water bottles or something like that. So here I know there's a Mirelurk, so I hit him with the pistol and switch to an automatic weapon so I can take him out fast enough, and lo and behold, he goes down ultra quickly. I didn't expect that, but I guess with the damage tweaks that we got on his the soft part of his body takes a really huge bit of damage when you try and hit him. But this is the most important part of this supply run right here. We'll try and breeze through all the supply runs as I go through them, but you want to grab these drugs, and you also want to try and grab this day tripper, because it is going to come into play a little later on. There's also some stuff in here you can take, but it's not as important as the day tripper. I want to stretch that out. Especially if you're doing a lower charisma build, it is not as important as the day tripper. So everything else is kind of where you'd look for it. There's nothing too fancy about that area. We're just gonna go ahead and try and put our power armor back. And so I'm gonna confess, I've installed Rockin' Red Rocket, and I really love it. It's kind of how I feel that Most of the quarters mods should be kind of set up. It's very nice. It's very, very nice. It helps me deal with OCD in games. But I see this power armor station when I get in. I think I dropped my junk in here as well. And I think to myself, I can work on my power armor indoors. So let me go ahead and take this off and then try and get this into the rack and see if I can repair it. So I put it into the rack, and then I realize I can't actually work on it, which makes me depressed. I was so sad after I figured that out. I mean, it's not bad because there's a power armor station outside, but I was so depressed. And the next thing I find out about Rockin' Red Rocket is you can change your appearance in the mirror, which is actually pretty cool. So I took that chance to change up my hairstyle because I didn't have any problems with the face. I had more problems with the actual hairstyle itself. So I went over and I got me some Urban Ranger going on, and then I was gonna go for the dirty blonde look initially. I couldn't find the hair slider, so I had to tab out of it and then go back into it. Well, it's not tab, but I had to go out of the menu and go back into it. Went to hair, and before we could find a dirty blonde, I found burgundy, which it was more of a red. It seemed to suit a little bit more of a grizzled look, and we just kind of went with it. And that's our time spent in Rockin' Red Rocket. This is just a little bit of a tidbit, just in case you guys didn't know and you wanted to do a melee build early on, but you didn't want to do a heavy melee build. You want to do something like a sneak sort of ninja melee build, walk around, shank a dude in his ass cheeks, something like that. Well, I got something for you. Something for you in particular. We're going to go through these trees, and here you're going to find a Brahmin. You're going to find some food. You're going to find some bullets. You're going to find some more bullets, some more food, and a combat knife. The first time I saw this, I was really confused. Because you'd think the combat knife would be something you'd have to steal off of a gunner. Similar to other games, you had to get them off of certain enemies. You had to just steal a combat knife from somebody, or you had to find it in a rare location. No, they just have it out in the open in the starting area. Just thought you guys should know, just in case you never knew and you wanted to do a sneak ninja melee build that I tried to do but got bored of. So that's a cool little tidbit for you guys. Here we're going toward the Drumlin Diner, and this area is subject to a lot of ambushes because there's 2 spawns on either side. So take this area with caution every time you go through it, especially if you're high level. You might get a Mr. Gutsy. But we're going to climb up this log to try and get some medical supplies and a few other things. But if you played this before and you've done this, you know that this triggers a crazy band of raiders. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff. We got a crazy band of raiders. We got some mentats. And I'm like, okay, let's line up a firing position. Then I realized there's a farmer there. And I'm like, oh boy. We should help this man. No, really, I was kind of more like, I don't want to shoot the farmer. So, instead of jumping off like I normally would, I jump onto this log because Agony's installed, and I don't want to break my legs and die. So I kind of peer around this rock, and I wasn't sure if that was the farmer that I saw earlier, so I just 2-shot that raider, because I think I have 35 damage from adrenaline. So, I'm doing a ton of damage a shot with an automatic weapon. I think I'm doing like 40 something. And there's a lot of gunfire going on, sparks, lights, and I think I grabbed him with a headshot, and I couldn't get a body shot on this person, and then I think Trash Cat Carla caps him once and he goes down. So Farmer, thinking I did this specifically for him, was like, yo, my dude, here's $50. And I'm like, nah, I need to find these bodies. Fortunately, I don't find the bodies, but I do come across the Drumlin Diner. Now, this is the part I was talking about, because this is an important part for me as a starting character, because the whole point of the early levels is to get out of them as fast as you can. Now, I didn't realize this was a quest the first 7 times I did this, so I usually just shot the 2 drug dealers. But actually, you can talk to them. Great surprise, right? I know. You can talk to them, and here I'm just taking some food and stuff, so I'm not dehydrated or anything. But yeah, when I first figured this out, I was like, yo, this is crazy. But they immediately kind of turn and pull a gun on you, which freaked me out the very first time. And my response was pretty much, you can bite my ass. like that was great. One of the better moments of dialogue in this game. But I have 5 charisma, essentially, so I can pass this skill check. If I don't pass it, it's fine. If you don't pass it, it's fine. But the second speech check you have to pass, to me at least, is more important. Because in that sense, now I have 3 vendors that I can rob by selling them drugs, rather than just 2. So what ends up happening is he sends you inside, and you can either threaten her, shoot her, or have them come to a resolution. The only way I've found to auto pass the resolution is to take some Day Tripper. Every time I've taken Day Tripper, even when I've had 3 charisma, I've just taken Day Tripper, I've gone through, talked to Trudy, and gotten her to pay him the money.
I saw you in that poison cellar talking. Well,
let's just take a little bit of a listen to what she says.
Why? What's this all about?
Oh, that Ken Pusher didn't tell you? He got my boy hooked on Jet. Sold him a ton of junk on credit, and now he expects me to pay him off. That bastard ain't getting a single damn cap from me.
Look, you owe them money. If you just pay them, then this'll be over. Everyone walks away without getting hurt.
All right, I'll pay. But that bastard ain't gonna sell one more drop of Jet to my boy. You hear that, Wolfgang?
And that's essentially the resolution. So now I get to have them both as vendors. I get an extra $150, and I get 177 XP, which is fine with me. There's nothing better than that, and we do have the immersive Drumlin Diner mod installed because it looks better. But we're gonna talk to Wolfgang, and we're gonna turn in this quest. And that's pretty much going to end it for the video. Sorry it went on a lot longer than I expected, but it's a pilot video, so there's not a huge amount that I can do about it. So it's been fun. This has been the incredible Nando with all of his crazy mods that make the game easier. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.